Welcome and thank you for joining us. You are watching Millennium News Hour and I am Tanzeeba Noreen. Today we have brought top and trending news from across the nation and the world. Let's begin with the headlines. Columbia goes remote for remainder of semester. UCLA cancels classes. At least 55 hurt after a University of Southern California bus and a train collide in LA. Arizona lawmakers vote to undo near-total abortion ban from 1864, with Governor Hobbs expected to sign. One dead, 3 injured in Kansas tornado on 5th day of vortex outbreak. Outbreak of opioid overdoses in Austin, Texas linked to 8 deaths and over 50 emergency calls. U.S. bird flu spreads to chickens, cattle, raises concerns over human infections. Amazon triples quarterly profit as cloud surges. Netanyahu vows to invade Rafah with or without a deal as ceasefire talks with Hamas continue. Modi urges BJP nominees to get more voters to polls following lower turnout. Highway collapse in China leaves at least 24 dead. Alcaraz crashes, Sinner hobbles out of Madrid. And Australia's T20 World Cup squad, Mitch Marsh to lead but no place for Smith. You are listening to Headlines, now news in detail. There were violent clashes between the pro-Palestinian encampment and counter-protesters at UCLA overnight. The LAPD said it was responding at the university's request due to multiple acts of violence. The university cancelled all classes today. Police said 173 individuals were arrested at the City College of New York and 109 at Columbia University last night, for a total of 282 arrests after special police units breached the occupied Hamilton Hall. Columbia said it was left with no choice but to call in the NYPD and has asked police to maintain a presence on campus until May 17, 2 days after commencement. All academic activities, including finals for schools on the Morningside Heights campus, will be fully remote for the remainder of the semester, the school said this afternoon. New York Mayor Eric Adams said in a briefing this morning that while some students were involved in the occupation of Hamilton Hall at Columbia, they were led by individuals not affiliated with the university. At least 55 people were hurt too seriously when a Metro Light rail train and a University of Southern California shuttle bus collided Tuesday along a busy thoroughfare in downtown Los Angeles, officials said. The crash happened shortly before noon along Exposition Boulevard near the USC campus and Natural History Museum, according to the LA Fire Department. 2 victims were hospitalized with serious injuries and 16 others were transported in fair condition, the department said. Another 37 people were treated at the scene. Dave Sotero, a spokesperson for LA Metro, said the bus crossed into the path of an E-line train. The light rail line runs from East Los Angeles to downtown Santa Monica, mostly along streets, and not all of the crossings have gates. Television news footage showed the left side of the red and white bus smashed against the first car of the train. The front section of the bus had significant damage. The Starcraft 40-passenger bus was traveling westbound on Exposition Boulevard with only the driver and one passenger aboard when the collision occurred, according to a statement from USC Transportation. The bus driver and passenger were the two most severely injured, according to fire department officials. There were more than 150 passengers on the Santa Monica-bound metro train, officials said. The Arizona legislature approved a repeal of a long-dormant ban on nearly all abortions Wednesday, advancing the bill to Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs, who is expected to sign it. Two Republicans joined with Democrats in the Senate on the 16-14 vote in favor of repealing a Civil War-era ban on abortions that the state's highest court recently allowed to take effect. The repeal bill narrowly cleared the Arizona House last week. Hobbs said in a statement that she looks forward to quickly signing the repeal into law. The devastating consequences of this archaic ban are why I have called for it to be repealed since day one of my administration, she said. Arizona women should not have to live in a state where politicians make decisions that should be between a woman and her doctor, Hobbs continued. While this repeal is essential for protecting women's lives, it is just the beginning of our fight to protect reproductive health care in Arizona. The revival of the 19th century law had put Republicans on the defensive in a battleground state for the presidential election. Across the country, women are living in a state of chaos and cruelty caused by Donald Trump, Vice President Kamala Harris said in a statement on Wednesday. If the repeal bill is signed, a 2022 statute banning the procedure after 15 weeks of pregnancy would become Arizona's prevailing abortion law. Still, there would likely be a period when nearly all abortions would be outlawed because the repeal won't take effect until 90 days after the end of the legislative session, likely in June or July. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. One person died and 3 others sustained minor injuries when a tornado touched down in Westmoreland, Kansas on Tuesday afternoon, officials said. The tornado, one of nearly 200 reported in the Plains and the Midwest since Friday, was reported at 4:40 p.m., Pottawatomie County officials said in a statement. The identity of the person who died was being withheld until the family can be notified, Sheriff Shane Jagger said at a news conference. The injured did not require hospitalization, county spokesperson Becky Rand said at the news conference. First responders were still conducting a grid search of the area to determine whether anyone else was killed or injured, she said. 22 homes in Westmoreland, about 55 miles west of Topeka, have been determined to be uninhabitable. 13 others sustained damage. One commercial building was damaged and 5 outbuildings such as sheds and detached garages were destroyed, RAND said. Police in Austin, Texas said they responded to an outbreak of over 50 opioid-related overdose calls between Monday and Tuesday morning that's been linked to as many as 8 deaths. Authorities said they started receiving an increase in opioid calls around 9 a.m. Monday. It was concentrated in the downtown area but spread throughout the city, said Austin Travis County Emergency Medical Services Assistant Chief Steve White. EMS usually receives an average of 2 to 3 calls a day, White said at a news conference Tuesday afternoon. During the surge, authorities responded to about 51 calls, he said. The overdose patients range in age from their 20s to 50s, according to White. We have not experienced overdoses of this volume since 2015 when K2 struck our community, he said, referring to synthetic marijuana that resulted in mass overdose. Eric Fitzgerald, the assistant chief for the Austin Police Department, said it is apparent that there is a deadly batch of illicit narcotics in our community. The outbreak of H5N1 bird flu virus has spread to dairy cows for the first time in the United States, raising concerns about it spreading to humans through the nation's milk supply. Since 2022, bird flu in the United States has infected over 90 million chickens, more than 9,000 wild birds, 34 dairy herds, one person in Texas who came in close contact with infected cattle, and another after exposure to poultry. In April, Colombia became the first country to restrict the import of beef and beef products coming from U.S. states due to bird flu in dairy cows. The U.S. government said it will require dairy cattle moving between states to be tested for bird flu. E-commerce titan Amazon on Tuesday said profit in the first 3 months of 2024 tripled as its cloud, ads, and retail businesses thrived. Amazon shares were up about 1% in aftermarket trades that followed release of the earnings figures, with Wall Street keeping a close eye on the impact of AI as well as costs involved. It was a good start to the year across the business, Amazon chief executive Andy Jassy said in an earnings release. The Seattle-based company reported $10.4 billion in profit on revenue of $143.3 billion compared with a profit of $3.2 billion on $127.4 billion in sales in the same period a year earlier. Amazon opens its new fiscal year with a robust set of numbers that show it has mostly brushed off pressures in the consumer economy, Global Data Managing Director Neil Saunders said in a note to investors. Sales at Amazon online stores grew by 7% in the quarter despite competitive pressure from rivals such as Shein and Temu, according to Saunders. Growth in online store sales indicated last year's turnaround at Amazon's e-commerce business is continuing, according to eMarketer senior analyst Blake Drush. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for global updates. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged Tuesday to launch an incursion into the southern Gaza city of Rafah, where hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are sheltering from the almost 7-month-long war, just as ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas appear to be gaining steam. Netanyahu's comments came hours before U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was to arrive in Israel to advance the truce talks, which appear to be one of the most serious rounds of negotiations between Israel and Hamas since the war began. The deal is meant to free hostages, bring some relief to the population, and avert an Israeli offensive into Rafah and the potential harm to civilians there. Netanyahu said Israel would enter Rafah, which Israel says is Hamas' last stronghold, regardless of whether a truce for hostages deal is struck. His comments appear to be meant to appease his nationalist governing partners, but it was not clear whether they would have any bearing on any emerging deal with Hamas. The idea that we will stop the war before achieving all of its goals is out of the question, Netanyahu said, according to a statement from his office. We will enter Rafah and we will eliminate Hamas battalions there, with or without a deal, to achieve the total victory. The U.S. has repeatedly said it opposes the Rafah operation until Israel presents a credible plan for evacuating and protecting the estimated 1.5 million people seeking shelter there. A week before voting in the third phase of India's long-drawn parliamentary elections on May 7, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has written letters to BJP candidates asking them to encourage more people to vote as he seeks a rare third tenure. As per the Election Commission's final voting figures released, the turnout in the first phase, covering 102 seats and the largest among all the 7 phases, was 66.14% and 66.71% in the second phase, in which 88 seats were at stake. Both figures are lower than the corresponding phases in the previous elections in 2019. The Election Commission and political parties are concerned that unseasonably hot weather and weddings in parts of the country has affected the turnout of voters in the first 2 phases of voting. Political observers say there is no single issue strong enough to hold sway among voters this time, and the committed Hindu nationalist base of Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party may not be stepping out in bigger numbers due to complacency or overconfidence, resulting in lower turnouts. A section of a highway collapsed early Wednesday in southern China, sending cars tumbling and leaving at least 24 people dead, according to a state media. 18 cars fell down a slope after a 58.7-foot-long section of the highway collapsed, according to a statement from authorities in Meizhou City in Guangdong Province. The incident occurred around 2 a.m. The death toll had risen to 24 by Wednesday afternoon local time, according to Xinhua, China's state-run news agency. Parts of Guangdong Province have seen record rains and flooding in the past 2 weeks, as well as hail. Some villages in Meizhou had flooded in early April, and the city had seen heavy rains in recent days. Witnesses told local media they heard a loud noise and saw a hole several yards wide open up behind them after driving past the section of the road just before it collapsed. Video and photos in local media showed smoke and fire at the scene, with highway rails slanting downward into the flames. A pile of blackened cars could also be seen on the slope leading down from the highway. We will be back after a short break. Till then, stay with us. This world continuously revolving around various events. Every minute, every second, something is happening somewhere around the globe, and you want to get connected to that event or to that specific moment. Here we come, Millennium News Hour, to get you connected with top USA and international trending news, which includes local news, political news, world news, business news, health and science-related news, entertainment news, sports news, and so on. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with Millennium News Hour to get the world news on your feed. Welcome back to Millennium News Hour. Now it's time for business news. Today's New York stock close price is 17,576.39. The NYSE Composite is decreased by 26.95 points or 0.15%. Tokyo stock close price is 38,274.05. The Nikkei 225 index is decreased by 131.61 points or 0.34%. Shanghai stock close price is 3,104.82. The Shanghai index is decreased by 8.22 points or 0.26%. Hong Kong stock close price is 17,763.03. The Hang Seng index is increased by 16.12 points or 0.09%. Bombay stock close price is 74,482.78. The Sensex index is decreased by 188.50 points or 0.25%. Let's have a look on today's sports stories. Second-seeded Carlos Alcaraz saw his title defense and 14-match winning streak in Madrid come to an end at the hands of Andrei Rublev in the quarterfinals on Wednesday, while top-seeded Yannick Sinner withdrew from the tournament citing a right hip injury. Rublev upset home favorite Alcaraz 4-6, 6-3, 6-2 to reach the semi-finals. The 7th-seeded Rublev had lost his last 5 matches against top-3 opposition and was 0-1 head-to-head against Alcaraz coming into the contest. He was also on a 4-match losing streak heading into the Madrid Open. Mitch Marsh will captain Australia at the ICC Men's 2020 World Cup 2024 next month, leading a squad that is missing ex-skipper Steve Smith and up-and-coming batter Jake Fraser-McGurk. Marsh, who is recovering from an injured hamstring, was confirmed as T20 captain on Wednesday after sharing the duties on an interim basis since the retirement last year of Aaron Finch. Smith's mission for the tournament starting June 2 in the United States and Caribbean means it will be the first time since 2012 that he has missed a World Cup in the limited overs formats. Smith, 34, has signed for the Washington Freedom for the second season of Major League Cricket in the US, which starts on July 4, 4 days after the T20 World Cup concludes. Fraser McGurk surged into selection calculations on the back of his 233.33 strike rate in the Indian Premier League, but it was not enough to replace Travis Head or the veteran David Warner at the global tournament. All-rounder Marsh will likely bat at number 3 and Glenn Maxwell at 4 in the lineup, with Tim David likely to fill the finisher role further down the order. Let's have a look on today's weather forecast. Before finishing today's news, let's hear out the headlines again. Columbia goes remote for remainder of semester, UCLA cancels classes. At least 55 hurt after a University of Southern California bus and a train collide in LA. Arizona lawmakers vote to undo near-total abortion ban from 1864, with Governor Hobbs expected to sign. One dead, 3 injured in Kansas tornado on 5th day of vortex outbreak. Outbreak of opioid overdoses in Austin, Texas linked to 8 deaths and over 50 emergency calls. U.S. bird flu spreads to chickens, cattle, raises concerns over human infections. Amazon triples quarterly profit as cloud surges. Netanyahu vows to invade Rafah with or without a deal as ceasefire talks with Hamas continue. Modi urges BJP nominees to get more voters to polls following lower turnout. Highway collapse in China leaves at least 24 dead. Alcaraz crashes, Sinner hobbles out of Madrid. And Australia's T20 World Cup squad, Mitch Marsh to lead but no place for Smith. That's all for today. Keep watching Millennium News Hour for latest news update. To stay updated, like our Facebook page, subscribe our YouTube channel and visit our website. Our website address is www.millenniumnews24.com. Millennium News 24 is transmitted and available to be watched free for OLED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia available with Sky Network, Worldwide Jadoo TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago Media Network and Horizon Satellite globally. Stay connected with us for all the latest news worldwide. Thank you.